throughout their adolescence. 46% of males, followed by 26% of females, have admitted to being victims in physical fight. There's increasing domestic violence at home in our society. We believe it's leading to an increase in all the bullying online and at school. The researchers note that one way to begin to lower bullying statistics is to tell an adult when it's happening. That is a huge issue. Children do not tell their parents when they're being bullied. I mean, after a long period of time, you've got to get it out of them. The typical kid who's getting bullied does not come and tell you. They will deny it because they were worried what might happen. They feel they're going to lose control, they're ashamed, whatever, but they don't typically come forward and tell their parents. And despite you might have a very good open relationship with your child, kids really just feel very uncomfortable about telling their parents they're being bullied. 58% of kids admit to never telling an adult when they've been a victim of a bullying attack. Obviously, one way to stay safe is you inform the school if they're taking place on the school property or have anything to do with the school. Signs of your child being bullied. Now, I'm sure a lot of you would know this anyway, but still it's good to go over it. They don't want to go to school. That's the most common thing I get, is that the kid doesn't want to go to school. And again, they're not telling their parent the real reason why. The kid starts in the morning to just be slow to get ready to go to school. They're delaying. They're trying to put it off. They seem apprehensive. Probably they're trying to delay so that they're not out in the recess area waiting with these other kids to get bullied. This way, when the bell rings, they just get there and they walk in, so they feel safer. Signs of our loss of appetite, usually during breakfast. A lot of these kids will not eat breakfast. And of course, it's usually a sudden thing where usually they would eat their breakfast. A lot of them have damage or missing clothing or books when they come home. You'll know some kid has been vandalizing their stuff or giving them a hard time with it. They might have an unexplained cut or a bruise. Kids who tend to be victims of bullies usually don't have a lot of friends. That's one of the reasons they're chosen, is because they're kind of a safe target. They're not very popular. They don't have a lot of friends. But of course, there's always exceptions to that as well. If your child starts to show a loss of interest in school, they're suddenly doing poorly in school, something's going on with that child. It doesn't have to be bullying, but certainly that could be it. We know that kids also who are depressed, that will happen to them. For certainly kids that are molested in some way, that will happen. They'll appear sad, teary, depressed when they come home from school. And they'll frequently complain of stomach aches, headaches, other ailments, usually as a way of not going to school the next day. Or they'll wake up in the morning and say, I can't go to school, I have a stomach ache. Obviously, these kids will have bad dreams, they'll have nightmares, they have trouble sleeping. I don't know how many of you know Dr. Koplow. I assume everybody knows him. He pointed this out to me very recently. I was very impressed with it. Where we're coming from with this is that, or at least Dr. Koplow is that, you have a kid who has a food allergy, and he's different in that way. And let's say kids are making him feel even more different because they're teasing him, making fun of him. One thing you share with the child is that there have been incredibly brilliant, great people in the world who've been different. Blind people in music, their senses develop extraordinary in their other senses. So, Stevie Wonder, Andre Bocelli. I did not know this. Dr. Koppel told me Albert Einstein didn't speak till age 5. For Einstein syndrome, we have exceptionally intelligent people that are late talkers. So you imagine a child who doesn't talk till they're really 5 years old. That's a very different kind of kid. And but yet look how they grow into such greatness. Thomas Edison, Lewis Carroll, Arthur Rubinstein. Louis Braille invented the blind alphabet. He was blind himself. So trying to convey to a child who's different, whether it's food allergy, sexual orientation, whatever it would be, that he's different or disabled in some way, that again, some of the greatest people in history have had disabilities and overcome them. And of course, the feeling is perhaps part of why they became so great is they had something to struggle against, an obstacle to overcome, and it prepared them to later conquer other type of obstacles, like in the science. All right, characteristics of bullies. Well, again, we're stereotyping, we're generalizing. It doesn't mean every bully's this way, but a lot of them will lie. I mean, that's kind of typical. They don't admit that they're bullying kids. If anything, they try to present it that they're the victim, which is usually laughable, but they will maintain that this kid is bothering them. They use violence, obviously, to solve problems. They use a lot of, they tend to use drugs and alcohol as they get older. They rebel against authority figures, including parents, teachers, law enforcement. They do poorly in school, and obviously as a result of rebelling against the teachers, the law enforcement, etc., they often have trouble with the law. Well, we've discussed teaching empathy, and later on in the talk there's going to be some stuff about this, teaching empathy, but yes, that's crucial. And that is really one of the main characteristics bullies have, is they don't have a lot of empathy. And like Dr. Capo said, they actually do enjoy inflicting the pain and the suffering on a child. But again, I'm going to show you some things in a little while that is interesting to see how very healthy, well-adjusted kids can enjoy inflicting pain on other children. So, again, we're stereotyping, generalizing, but, again, you'll see when we get to that part of the presentation.